Hello everyone, thanks for tuning into today's second video. We're going to have a look at the weather. There's 10 14 days for today's second video. Day 10 will take us to the 11th of February, and we'll be able to extend out beyond that with the GFS and ECM ensembles. Maybe on trying to go with Winks. Have a look at CFS V2 at the end of the video. For the next 4 weeks, that gets us more or less the end of February, and I shall get on that for you in a moment. Just say that first, really set our weekend forecast. No 6 AM forecast today, and no ECM WF42 there. However, you will be able to hear that I'm sounding a lot better today, coughing quite a lot less as well. So I'm on the road to recovery from the latest flare-up, thankfully and finally. So thank you so much to all of you for all of your lovely messages of concern and support. Been absolutely amazing and incredible to hear all of your lovely messages and tips on what I can do to get myself better as well. Thank you so much, everyone. And hoping to get the 6 AM broadcast for tomorrow morning, if not tomorrow morning, definitely for Monday morning. I am feeling quite sleepy in the evenings, hoping this evening, I'm not sleepy and I'll be able to get the 6 AM forecast done. But thank you so much, everyone. And I'm starting off on the GavsWeatherVids Facebook page. The reason for that is that GavsWeatherVids blog has now gone offline. We brought GavsWeatherVids.com back as a blog back in the summer. It didn't really work out, hasn't really worked, so I've taken that offline. And the reason on the GavsWeatherVids Facebook page is that this is where we will be posting Terry Scully's month-end and seasonal forecast from now on, and then I'll share the link to the Facebook page across the social media accounts. So if you want to keep in touch with Terry Scully's seasonal and month-end forecast, then make sure you are following, make sure you're a member of the GavsWeatherVids Facebook page, Facebook group, with nearly 6,000 followers. So the Facebook page is really, becoming quite a big page, actually. And that's the reason I'm going to do a little bit more with the GavsWeatherVids Facebook page this year. Focused, of course, on the YouTube channel and whatnot, but I do want to do a little bit more on the Facebook page. So this is where we're going to post Terry Scully's written month-end seasonal forecast now on. Link is in the description, so if you're not following Facebook page, then make sure you give it a follow if you want to keep up to date with Terry's seasonal and also month-ahead forecast. Thank you so much, everyone, for doing that. Right, okay, let's have a quick cough. There we go, and we shall start the video. Right, by the way, Terry's February forecast, I've already got it. It's a very interesting forecast that can be released at 7 PM on the Facebook page this evening. Now, I wanted to start off with last night's pub run, GFS 18Z. We're going to do a little bit of bullseye, a little bit of Jim Bone. This is what you could have won. Hang on, let's just get rid of that. Okay, so I'm going to do a little bit of bullseye. This is what you could have won. This is what we could have won if we'd been live streaming the pub run last night. If I felt well enough to do it. So here we go. This is what the pub run was shown. Initially, relatively mild, but then high pressure going up towards Scandinavia, becoming pretty blocked. So this weather system coming in next weekend, maybe hinting rain, possibly some snow next weekend. And then the block conditions carrying on with easterly winds becoming colder into the second week of February, and a blocking area of high pressure dominating the weather right way through to the middle of February. So very cold up to the middle of February there, with winds in from the east, lots of wind shear potential. But look what it was doing with the stratospheric forecast. What a climax this would have been. Check this out, everyone. So there we go. So starting off with a bit of warming. Don't get a bit of warming over Siberia in about a week's time. But then check that out. Very major warming by the time we get through to the 13th of February. Splitting the stratospheric polar vortex. And then check this out. Absolutely insane southern stratospheric warming getting going there by the 16th of February. Very, very, very significant warming. Two-pronged SSW, one on the Siberian side, one on the Canadian and Greenland side of the Arctic. And, well, what an SSW that would be. That is like an insane stratospheric warming, to say the least. And obviously, the polar vortex is one true split at this point. lobe of blue gone spiraling off into Europe, and another lobe of blue going spiraling off into America. And in between, we get this incredible sudden stratospheric warming event. So what a pub run that would have been. Unfortunately, I was asleep when all that was going on, and that was rolling out. So I've been very sleepy most evenings this week, but hopefully we're going to get live streams back tomorrow. I want to be live streaming at 6 p.m. tomorrow evening, so maybe I shall see you all there, and hopefully next Friday we will have a pub run live, but I bet we don't see anything as interesting or as exciting as that. That's what we could have won. Never mind, we've still got a lot to keep an eye on, and a lot of interest going on. So let's start off with the latest win from Matt from earthnullschool.net. So we've got a weather system out in the Atlantic, and there's a weather front through here. Now we're bringing up a southerly wind, and if we pull the map down, we can see this southerly is going right the way up into the Arctic Circle. We call this WAA. This is warm air advection. So the idea is almost like blowing up a tyre, really. You push up or you pump in the warm air from the south, and on the eastern side of that, you develop a ridge. And so we're going to be inflating a ridge via this warm air advection over Scandinavia. We are doing so right now, actually. The only thing is, it's going to be a relatively weak ridge, and so it's not going to do much, in the next day or two. But by the end of the coming week, we're probably going to have a Scandinavian high, and we'll be bringing the wind from not a particularly cold easterly, but we have to wait and see how this pattern evolves and develops over the coming 2 or 3 weeks. Particularly if it's enabled by a big sun stratospheric warming event, we might find a way to much colder weather as February goes on, especially the second half of February. So let's wait and see where it's all going. Central temperature is now confirmed to be at 3.4, come in at 3.4 for January 2025. That is 0.4 of a degree below the 61 to 1990 average, and it's 1.2 degrees, 1.2 Celsius below the 91 to 2020 average. So a colder than average January, slightly colder than average January against 61 to 1990, and really quite a significantly colder than average January set against the modern average of 91 to 2020. It's been a cold January. Let's see when the last time was we had a January as cold or colder. This is the CT page from Hadley, going all the way back to 1659. So if we come down to the current year, we can see that 2025 has its first number placed in it. It's January, and it comes in at 3.4. So the last time we had a January colder than this was in 2021, only just coming in at 3.3. So it's basically been the coldest January for about 4 years there. What about February? Well, February's number is going to be placed there. We have the mildest February on modern CT record. Last year at 7.8, 2025. I think we're going to be struggling to get a February CT as mild as that. But last time we had a cold February, of course, was back in 2018, which they've got at 3.1. But I think at the time it came in just under 3 degrees at 2 point something. So I reckon that's been adjusted upwards slightly. I'm sure that at the time was sitting at about 2.9 or something, 2.8. Anyway, it's been adjusted upwards, so that came in at 3.1. So the last time we had a February CT that was colder than that, we've got 2010 at 3 degrees, 3.0. I'm pretty sure back in the day that one was also at 2 point something as well. So a bit of an adjustment going on there. 1996 coming in at 2.5. February 1996 appears to be the last time we was in the twos. I don't think there's any other years there. No, I don't think so. So 2.5 in 1996 there. Even colder February 1991. This will encompass an extremely cold spell of weather through the first half of the month, and really severely cold and snowy. Ended up at 1.6 as it got milder for the final week to 10 days or so of the month, but that's last time it was under 2 degrees with the CT. For February, when did we last have a sub-zero CT February? That was in 1986, sitting there at minus 1.0. I'm pretty sure back in the day that was minus 1.1, so that's been altered very slightly. I think, but that's the last time anyway we had a sub-zero CT February. What are you doing? Yeah, and then we go way back, of course, to, we had a very cold February 1969 at 1 degree, but 1963, of course, standing out to daddy of cold winters, sub-zero CT February at minus 0.7, following on from January, which was also sub-zero at minus 2.1, so 2 back-to-back sub-zero CT months. That is why 1962-63 is the daddy of cold winters. December 62 was also quite cold at 2.2 as well, by the way, but it really was January and February, but with a bitter cold months. And the coldest February on record, I think, is 1947 with minus 1.9 there. Extraordinarily cold and very, very, very snowy month as well. Almost coming out minus 2, and I think that's the coldest February on the CET record. I say it's only last year that we had our mildest February, one of the mildest Februaries on CET record at 7.8 there. I say I think we're going to be struggling to get February as mild as that this year already, you know, from looking at the chart data. Thinking about potentially quite a cold February, so we shall see and we shall know in a month's time where you know, the number is or what the number is going to be doing when it's placed into just there. Okay, right, well, I hope you enjoyed CT Saturday. Let's have a look at the GFS upper air temperature precipitation ensembles next couple of weeks. On Coventry today, the red line is the 30-year upper air temperature average for Coventry, starting off above average with the upper air temperature at the moment. However, it's under a ridge of high pressure, not desperately mild, but early part of next week will be quite mild, then becoming colder later next week. And they carry on into the second week of February as well. Notice a thick green line, that's the GFS 6 operation, and that becomes one of the mildest ensemble members through to the middle part of February. So the 6 GFS has gone quite mild today. But the general trend through the second week of February looks to be quite cold, and then possibly a milder trend into the middle or second half month. I'll be very dubious about that though. There's a lot of scatter within there. Got like cold ensemble members down here. Have got the milder ensemble members, of course, up there. Precipitation wise, not dry weather over the next week, but not completely so. There is an interesting little feature coming through the country Tuesday to Wednesday. That drops the temperature, and then maybe again towards the end next week or beginning of next weekend, few precipitation spikes, something a bit wintry might happen then. But overall, the next couple of weeks will be pretty dry, I have to say, on that ensemble graph. Temperature anomalies for the next 5 days coming out average to slightly above for the north, near normal further south. If we look at the 6 to 10 day temperature average, it's looking a lot colder. That gets us to the 11th of February, particularly focused on England and Wales, and that's what you expect to see with those east winds. We have a 10 to 14 day on anomaly, temperature anomaly, also looking quite cold as well. Again, particularly so focus on England and Wales. So it does appear to be cold first half to February after a mild-ish opening. Precipitation anomalies for the next week, next 7 days, generally drier than normal. And in the 4 to 10 day time frame, again, still coming out drier than normal as well. In the 8 to 14 day time frame, still coming out drier than normal. So a dry first half of February, but again, the trend is possibly an increasingly cold one. Okay, let's start going through the chart data then. It's our latest UK Met Euro run. Looking at midnight on Tuesday. Weather system coming into the west, relatively mild, but some wet, windy weather into the north and the west then. And then through the middle part of next week, high pressure builds up from the south. That's been colder air. The high pressure going up to Scandinavia very quickly. Later next week, beginning to bring the wind around to an easterly. But so look, we get to the end of the UK Met Euro run. Gets to midnight next Saturday. Winds in from the east, possibly bringing some snow showers or some windy patchy showers onto those eastern and southeastern coasts at that point. This area of low pressure is a bit of a troublemaker through here. The UK Met is keeping that away from us, but other models actually bring that in through next weekend and bring rain and also potentially some snow in with that as it bumps in to the colder air. Icon, again, building that high pressure up through the middle part of next week, taking it to Scandinavia and bring the wind in from an easterly direction at the end of next week. It's not a beast from the east, but it will be quite cold with that. And there's that weather system with Icon. That looks like it's moving into the country, into the cold air again, possibly breaking some rain, maybe some snow by the time we get into next weekend. That's one to keep an eye on. The KMA looking like this. So again, that high pressure building up through the middle part of next week and heading up to Scandinavia, bringing the wind around to quite a cold easterly. Nice easterly feed there as we go through into next weekend. Then the high pressure slipping southwards, keeping it, or turning it mostly dry and frosty. And then the easterly comes back again as we get towards the middle part of February. I guess 13th February, still in those easterly winds, still a Scandinavian high. Maybe a bit of a hint, but it's trying to retrograde. It's going to retrograde towards Iceland and Greenland. So the KMA keeping things pretty cold all the way up to the middle of February there. But GFS midnight run, all much of a muchness, again building that high pressure up from the south as we go into the middle of the week, and then heading up to, sorry about that, everyone got a bit of brain fog, and then heading up to Scandinavia with that area of high pressure at the end of the week. Lower pressure then coming in from the Atlantic into the cold air. Could be some fun and games with that for the high pressure reestablishes again up to about day 10. High pressure strengthens over Scandinavia towards the middle part of Feb. That's the 13th with a proper easterly wind then. And increasingly cold and wintry, I think, the GFS midnight run as we go into the extended range. But 6 is going to turn milder, and this is how it happens. High pressure again builds up to Scandinavia, brings the wind around to the east at the end of the week. Then we have that weaker pressure on Saturday, but below looks like it's actually out to our west and going down towards Biscay there, but to generally bring the wind in from quite a cold easterly start next weekend. But the high pressure reestablishes at the end of the weekend up to day 10. Most drivers south, but milder up in the north. Have a go at getting wind back into the east again about 12th of February. Always with a Scandinavian high on even on the 6th there, but just on the milder side of that high pressure. Eventually the high pressure slipping away by the 17th. So a bit of a wobble on the GFS 6 there. If you enjoyed the video, please like, share and subscribe. Thanks so much everyone for doing that. Why not drop a comment? Let us know what you think about this and all of our videos and content. Don't forget to tell your friends about GavsWeatherVids and get them to subscribe too. And we thank you so much everyone for doing that for us. Thank you so much everyone. It does mean a lot. 45 subscribers will get us to 19.5k. So you could give us a sub. That'd be absolutely awesome. Thank you so much. Before we go on to the GM, let's have a quick look at the latest GFS structure. So I'm going to go here, and I'm going to go there, I'm going to go there. This is the latest from the GFS in terms of that stratospheric developments. Let's just pull this out a little bit. Okay, so we start off with gold blue colours. These are cold temperatures at 10 HPA over the stratosphere and over the north pole. That's stratospheric polar vortex. Essentially, I can maintain for the next few days, next week, but a warming beginning to develop over Siberia into the second week of February. Many more extended range. What is 6Z doing with its stratospheric forecast? Let's have a look. So again, major warming occurring over Siberia, moving into the Arctic. Bit of a split of the stratospheric polar vortex there, and by the time we get through the 17th of February, we've got a full-on SSW going on. We've split the PV, one lobe of blue dropping down into America, another lobe moving down into Western Russia and into Eastern Europe as well. In between, we've got these yellow and orange colours and green colours. So again, I think it would be reversible wind with that. It's technical SSW. you versus zone winds at 60 degrees north, with a split of a stratospheric polar vortex that's doing everything that you would want an SSW to do. So even if GFS, in this doesn't look very good, but cold potential on the 17th of February, what's happening in the upper atmosphere is very, very interesting still on that GFS run. Not quite as insane though as the pub run. From a strat perspective. Right, okay, let's move on to the GEM then. So once more for 4th of February, Tuesday, bring up wind from a relatively mild southwesterly direction, and then high pressure heading up towards Scandinavia later next week. Moving up, if I'm moving up toward day 10, well, high pressure is maintained really, and wind continue to come from an easterly direction. That gets us to the 11th of February. Proper blocking area of high pressure around the Baltic Sea states, and an easterly flow as well, which could be bringing wintry showers into southern and eastern areas. This is not a beach from the east, not at this stage, but you never know, it might evolve in that direction later into February, especially if this blocking is combined with an SSW. So we're going to have a lot to keep an eye on this February, I think. ECM rounding it all off, with high pressure moving up towards Scandinavia through the course of this week. Then a weather system coming in from the west next weekend. I'm quite interested with the ECM. So that's midnight Saturday. Weather system is just there. And midnight Sunday, that weather system then is exiting away to the southeast. So it's gone in that direction. And you'll see in a moment what that delivers. Well, that gets out of the way, and then high pressure reestablishes for days 9 and 10. Get wind back into the east again by the 11th of February. And they look increasingly cold and wintry with the ECM midnight run as we go towards the middle of February. So high pressure blocking things out from Norway to Iceland. Wind coming in from a colder northeast direction. Then lots of cold air sitting across northern, central and eastern Europe. And on those east to northeasterly winds, we do start to drag in the -10 Celsius iceberg. It's short of the beach from the east, but it is a long fetch easterly. You see that the air is originating from the Urals, really, and coming all the way down into Western Europe. So, but very least, a very cold ECM midnight run today, and those bitterly cold east winds, which would be probably bringing quite a lot of snow, southern and east areas, continue all the way up to the end of the ECM midnight run. Gets us to the 16th of February, very wintry indeed, with the ECM at midnight run in the extended range. I tell you what, as I'm feeling like doing an extended video today, why don't we get up the AI ECM? Have a look at that one too. Hang on a sec, everyone. Okay, so this is how the AI ECM is looking as well. The latest update for that, with a mild southwesterly wind on Tuesday. Then high pressure builds up from the south as we go through Thursday into Friday. Winds in from the east gently by next weekend. Could be a bit of a weather system through here as well, moving into that colder air. So next weekend could be one to watch. But basically, high pressure dominates from Scandinavia. Winds back in from the east again as we move up towards day 10. Low pressure trying to come in from off the Atlantic into that cold air. That's quite a cold southerly southeasterly, but low pressure is being blocked as well. So generally quite cold and wintry with the AI ECM all the way up to the 16th of February. I think there was an interesting pub run AI ECM last night as well, so we can have a look at that. So much data in this one, Isabel. I hope you're enjoying it, everyone. So this is last night's ECM AI 18Z, again setting up the easterly wind for the end of the week. And then what happens? So that looks a little bit like the ECM at midnight run, the generic model, with a proper easterly setting up some very cold air into eastern parts of Europe there, I think, in towards the middle of February. Look at the upper air temperatures. So look at that cold pool sitting from the east. If we was to maintain that easterly for a couple more days, it was start to drag in this very cold air sitting to the east. That's like beast from the east type cold that we see there. That's genuinely beastly easterly. If we were to maintain that easterly for a few more days, we could start to drag that in. So all looking very interesting from both the ECM, AI and computer models today. Well, let's have a look at precipitation forecast based on that ECM generic model that we was just looking at. So again, we've got high pressure building to the south of the east over the next few days. What rain there is mostly to the north and to the west into the end of the week. Wind coming in from east. Now that weather system coming in Saturday looks interesting. That's bringing snow in from the east next weekend. Quite a snow event there through Wales, the Midlands and northern England next Saturday. Probably won't verify, but let's wait and see. It's one to watch anyway. Once that gets out of the way, then the wind going back into the east again for day 10. These are the odds on the table within the ECM ensembles today. So, sorry, everyone, for day 10 gets us to the 11th of February. 34 members of the ECM ensembles looking cold with high pressure to Scandinavia and winds coming in from a cold easterly direction, and 17 with high pressure ridging from the Atlantic into northern parts of Europe. That's a slightly milder option, but both of them would at very least produce frost whatnot. And then in 2 weeks' time, these are the options that we've got. Gets 16th of February. 26 members of the ECM ensembles with low pressure coming in from off the Atlantic up against the high pressure over Scandinavia. So that's like a battle type scenario, and depends on the exact parameters of the air mass and where the origins of the air are coming from. That could deliver rain, cold rain, that could deliver quite a lot of snow. 13, a minority option with the operation and control run in support though, has that big block from Greenland and Iceland to Norway. Low pressure down here and bring in that very cold easterly flow. So at the end, this was a little bit of a synoptic outlier. Oh, hang on, everybody. Someone's giving Gav a call. Gosh, there's always someone dialing into the towers, isn't there? We've got to get to the end of this video. Right, so that's a bit of an outlier within the ECM ensembles, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it won't verify. And then we also have 12 just here, which are looking a lot milder winds in from the west with that, and a general sort of westerly type flow. Let's have a look at CFS V2 and then we're done. I hope you enjoyed the video interruptions and all these. This is the latest 500 millibar height of oddly forecast breakdown week periods. The first week period takes from the 1st to the 7th of February. The next week with a blocking area of high pressure north of Scotland heading up towards Scandinavia. Winds coming in from a cold easterly direction. Therefore, week 2 is going to be the 8th, 14th of February. High pressure again towards Scandinavia, and we could be bringing winds from the cold easterly direction once more. Cold and block. Week 3, check this out. It's the 15th, 21st of February. That still looks like it could be cold, doesn't it? High pressure back towards the Urals. Winds still potentially coming from the east. That's 3 weeks of cold weather then. And then week 4 has a change. It's the 22nd, 28th of February. Last day of the month with low pressure to the northwest, high pressure to southeast, and winds coming up from a milder southwesterly direction, becoming milder in the 4th week. That's 4 weeks away, so got to wait and see. And then temperature week 1, the 7th of February, looking a bit cold on average, especially the England and Wales. Week 2 also looks cold. It's the 8th to the 14th of February. Most parts of Europe looking cold as well there. Week 3 is the 15th. The 21st of February, a bit cold on average for England and Wales, milder for week 4. It's the 22nd, 28th of February. We shall see if that's right. I've got a colder than average February on the way. Time will tell. Okay, we're done. What an epic video this one has been. Nearly half an hour. Blimey, it's been a long while since I've done a 30-minute bit. Thanks so much for sticking with it, everyone. Right, so all looking very interesting, and the next instalment of all of this will be tomorrow. So I definitely want to be live streaming at 6 p.m. tomorrow, live streaming your 10 to 14 day and doing probably ensembles watch combined with that as well. So 6 p.m. tomorrow, hopefully we'll have an epic live stream to get our teeth into. Also tomorrow, maybe 6am broadcast comes back and latest spring update as well. So lots to look forward to on the channel tomorrow. If you enjoyed the video, please give us a like, potentially doing that, and we'll be back with more very soon. For this one, that's all for now, and thanks for watching.